Being humble is like a self-crippling mechanism that feeds itself to where you never grow. Blech. I just thought of that. Top of the head. Sitting here thinking, I'm listening to Eminem, this dude. I can see where like the drugs fuel yourself and like give you confidence. Because I feel like in our society we're taught to be humble. We're taught to be noble. But realistically, that only limits our potential. And the fact that if we are to seek great things, that would be an ugly attribute. But honestly, we celebrate those. I forgot what book I read. I wish I had the notes in front of me. They're in the safe. I was in jail. And it's all about like how, I'm really gonna butcher this, but like being noble is a poor man's characteristic. Being honorable is a poor man's characteristic. Like we as a society celebrate like Mark Zuckerberg, right? Dirty, nasty piece of shit. But the levels of wealth that that dude achieved, like we're just like, wow. It's like how we are as a society. Not my most prideful moment right now. So it's shaky? So you can even tell the camera. Well, I don't know, let something happen. I'm just ready for it. Whatever, fuck, do it. I'll handle that too, just like I handle everything else in this motherfucking truck. But then sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I just think there's something self-crippling mechanism that feeds itself. Yes, it's there. Like it why though? I don't know. It's like I'm gonna feel like there's so many different good things I could have attained, and achieved, obtained, succeeded at. Whatever. But it was like I was afraid of success. Like I didn't know how to. Like I got too in my head about it. Why? Why was that instilled upon me? Gross. It's real gross. I hate it. And I can't get it out of me for whatever reason. Like I'm so aware of it. I'm so aware of it. But yeah. You know, like even when it comes to females, I was like, I know I can get it. But then I just get so in my head about shit. But like, I don't like, I think the thing is, I think this is the key. Robert Greene, right? It's just the problem is, because I'm thinking too much about myself. I think about it, and I go, yeah, it's true. I definitely do. So, I don't know, like when I'm drinking, like, it kind of like slips away. And get out of myself for a little bit. And that's what he talks about getting out of yourself and like getting into, like I've been there before. It's like a vehicle that you kind of just jump in and like you're in the passenger seat, but like it's on autopilot and you trust it. And you know it's gonna take you there. But like the minute you reach over and like grab the wheel, finito. So no good. You just have to be like, it's gonna take me where I need to go. You know, so I've learned about myself from this book. I have very many seductive traits. But I'm too consumed with myself. I get too involved with myself for me to like to act on it. Plus I'm drinking. And that's not the case every time. Like there's been times where I've never been like that's definitely huge. That's gross. Like I don't want to be thinking about myself and this shit. Like unlike see someone like you're attracted to or you're interested in, you want to be about them and like devote time to them. But I think why I got so into myself is because like I've met people that would like take advantage of that and would manipulate that. So I had to learn, or I taught myself to like be cognizant of those actions and to keyword fear them. And with fear, well, that's the limitation. So where did it stem from? I don't know. I think it stemmed from childhood. People, because it's like you don't mind giving and taking, the giving and taking system, right? Like that's what seduction is, you know. But like what I had to do, I had to constantly give and I never got anything in return. So that's when I became bitter, jaded, whatever you want to call it. I hope sober means paying attention to this because it's true. My mind's gonna open right now, I feel like. So it's like, you don't understand, like, there are people out there that do want to bend and that, like, I know what I got. It's appreciated. That's not the problem. I know what I have brings value. My problem when it comes to relationship is that I don't think people are going to give me what I want in return. And or what I deserve. So like I'm only attracted to people that put it all on the forefront. Like, sluts. Whatever, like it's like, oh, she'll put it out. So it's like, alright, so I know like I'm gonna get some in return. So therefore I'll put my shit in. Well, that's not true. Like, there are people out there. So, who took from me but never gave anything in return, or very little? My parents. Like, I can't imagine, like I felt it so much. Like, I'm a very sensual person, giving myself to someone. I've had so many beautiful connections, but like there's so many moments like where I get caught in my head and like I go to give myself someone and I go, what if they just take from me and like just leave me in the dirt? I would be a wreck. I would be. What if I couldn't even pick myself up again? Think about that, and it's in that moment that everything shatters. And I know it. I'm aware of it. And I'm trying to work through it, but like it's a defense mechanism that it's on autopilot. it's so ingrained in me. I think so early on I developed it because well, that's what was going on. So much was taken from me, but very little was given back. Like, I'm literally working like a job right now. The good thing about that though is like I can work like a shit job or whatever, and like I have the ability to like separate and walk away, right? Like, so that's the plus side. It's not like it's all negative, but it's just in my intimate life where I suffer. But like so when it comes to like anyone else taking advantage of me and shit, I know how to very easily, and I'm good at that. Like, I work a job and like they're not paying me right or whatever. Like, I know how to speak up for myself, stand up for myself. So that's good. I mean, silver lining. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's difficult. It's very difficult. Like, because there needs to be balance. And, like, the truth is, there needs to be balance in everything. So it's like, while this is going on over here, right? I also need a healthy portion of this. There needs to be balance. I need to be able to switch between the two without having that auto block, you know, fucking me up when something good's happening. Because I do, like, I self-sabotage like a motherfucker. So I'm like, well, what if some, like, that's how bad it's gotten. To the point where I'm like, I'm so used to not good things coming my way that, like, I've had to, like, develop it myself and, like, instill things into myself so I could do so. At least get some laughs out of it. Which is ugly. It is. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, it's funny. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. Like, funny's funny. Right? That's where my sense of humor comes from. Like, so I guess part of me is like, oh, what? Shit's closed? I'm trying to get some brew. That's ugly. But, like, well, like I said, like, I just self-sabotage. Oh yeah, but the funny. So, but like, I also like being funny because it's like, that's the one thing no one was ever able to take from me. Like I was just saying, like I've been taken from for so much, for so, you know. But that's the one thing that like oh, you can't rip this out of me, you know. So and I think, and that stems from not just my parents, right? So now we're getting into another field of things, like I'm talking about teachers, babysitters, you know, guardians, whatever. Something just came to mind. Like I remember, like I was in kindergarten. My kindergarten teacher was this old lady, super old lady. She's probably like in her 50s. Here I am in my mind, she's in her 80s or something. But like this lady, she's my teacher, my kindergarten teacher. She said, oh, you don't have a parent, you only have guardians. Because I had, like, you know, Father's Day or some shit like that where you can bring your dad or whatever. And like she made a point to like point me out to be like, yeah, you don't have that, so it's not welcome. Like I remember, like, as long as I can remember, jabs, you know, my way, jabs. And it's like, So I've never had like this cushy, like everyone's like fucking just throwing me love, put me in this little bubble where I'm gonna be held and protected. That's never been the fucking case. That has never been the fucking case. So yes, I developed this sense of humor to comfort myself. And is that such a bad thing that I don't want to forfeit it or let it go? You know, to be able to have a more sensual and intimate life? Because I do think the two are connected, like I just described earlier in this video. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I just like, oh my god. It's hard. It's so difficult. Where's the smoke shop? I swear there's a smoke shop here. I'm trying to... Is it getting dark? Can you still see me? As I'm driving, right? That's how my brain works. I need to be like doing something else to be doing something. It's an AM PM. But I don't know. That's all I got. So you can just leave it there. Thanks for listening, I guess, to whoever this is in the future. This ever gets seen. I make these videos, right? Like, I'm in my episode 13. And in the art of seduction, it talks about, like, you know, when it came to your emotional outbursts, essentially, I might be, again, butchering this, your emotional outbursts and whatnot, and your mistakes that you made while you were emotional, it's better to just own it than to, like, try to defend it logically. And that's huge for me, because, like, that's where I'm split. Like, I am so split. Like, I can't just do that. It's not who I am. Because I always figure I could beat people intellectually, you know, into submission if I couldn't get them emotionally. Because that's what the war I was always in. And I was always beat emotionally. So, I don't know. I just got a lot of learning to do. I'm 32. I'm going to be 33 in a couple months. And still learning to this day. So, we'll see what the future holds.